happening with Doctor Who recently? And where do I even fucking begin with this? I seriously don't know. I guess we should just first go and reiterate my opinions on the reveal for the new Doctor, who is going to be played by Ncuti Gatwa. And I will admit my opinions have changed slightly since the last video that I did on the matter, though I still think they're pretty consistent. Like, I'm now less bothered by the choice of Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, but at the same time, my issue with the fact that I'm worried about how exactly is he going to portray the Doctor. Is he going to portray the Doctor anything like what he is IRL? Because even though I have nothing against Ncuti Gatwa personally, like I don't hate him as a person or anything, I do think his behavior, like his flamboyant behavior, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with being flamboyant, to me personally just comes off very obnoxious. So I really hope that he doesn't play the Doctor like that, because I just don't really feel like that's what the Doctor is like. And also I'm really worried still about exactly what kind of accent, I guess, they're gonna go for with his performance as the Doctor, because similarly to his general behavior, I'm not really a big fan of his accent, and again, it just doesn't really feel like what the Doctor should sound like. So yeah, I don't know. People might say that this is superficial things, or oh whatever, Doctor Who is about change, but there's this thing that, at least in my opinion, at a certain point, if you change a character too much, it's not really the same character. So if a character doesn't follow these superficial qualities that we have set up for it, then is it the same character? Like, Jodie only feels somewhat like the Doctor because she's just doing a shitty version of Tennant's Doctor, in my opinion. But if Ncuti Gatwa goes for too far of his own thing, where he doesn't sound like the Doctor, he doesn't act like the Doctor, yeah, I feel like we might be in trouble. But I'm still obviously gonna hold out until I actually see him act as the Doctor before I say anything. But considering the recent reviews that we have about the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, I feel like I'm even less interested in seeing Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. Not because I hate him again, but because I'm just reminded how much I fucking love Tennant. And I really, really do. He was actually my first Doctor, because I became a Doctor Who fan during his run. I think I was watching like series 3 or something, and that's when I became a fan, and I mostly rewatched his seasons at the time. But Matt Smith is probably my favorite Doctor, because I do love his era the most with the puns. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. So, as you might have seen, we have gotten a lot of news recently about casting and possible stories and just spoilers in regards to the 60th anniversary for Doctor Who. And we still don't really know what exactly is true and what exactly is going to be happening, but damn, is it a lot to take in. And if I'm gonna be honest, I gotta say, this genuinely feels like a fucking dream. Like a fever dream. It feels like one of those times where I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming about the newest season of a TV show that I love, and it's just something completely unrelated to like what the actual season is. Like, it genuinely feels like I'm dreaming this. Like, I'm dreaming up that Tennant is back as the Doctor and he's playing a new version of it, of him, and he's gonna be doing some new stories that we haven't seen before. Like, tell me how does that does not come off as like fever dream, like something you would dream up because you maybe just watched Doctor Who and you wanted to see some other stories. Because I've generally had that experience for other shows, at least, like for The Walking Dead. I think I remember dreaming about an alternative season 10 or 11, I don't know, one of the two, for The Walking Dead. And now it feels like I'm experiencing that, but for real, for Doctor Who. And it's insane. It's insane. At first, I was excited about the fact that Tennant and Donna are going to be back. But once we started to get the reveals about the new costume, the new screwdriver apparently, and continuation of the Donna story, I guess. I'm just curious, where the hell are we going with this? Because it could be good. It'd probably be at least entertaining, but I'm worried about the consequences of the potential decisions and choices that have been made in regards to this anniversary. Because the current speculation, based also on a leak that so far has turned out to be pretty fucking true, Tennant is gonna be playing the 14th Doctor. For whatever reason, Jodie's gonna regenerate into Tennant. And possibly afterwards, Tennant is gonna regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa. Which, I honestly feel like that's probably gonna be the worst way you can go about with this, because we already got a nostalgia fest of the best hits of the RTD era with the last 2 seasons of Chibnall's run on Doctor Who. Because like series 12 and 13, and mostly 12, but there was still some aspects in series 13 which were basically just all the plot points of RTD's run and some of Moffat's shoved into a season, because Chibnall can't come up with anything on his own that is good. So to now, with the return of RTD, already start to jerk off the RTD era even more feels kind of annoying, and then to even have a returning Doctor as a new incarnation, a returning actor of the Doctor as a new incarnation of the Doctor, and the only new incarnation played by the same actor, it just feels really kind of disrespectful. Basically saying, yeah, the show maybe wasn't as popular during the Smith era or the Capaldi era and the Jodie era, but yeah, Tennant's back, and now he's gonna give the baton to Ncuti Gatwa. Fuck Matt, fuck Peter, fuck Jodie. You know, it just feels kind of disrespectful like that. I'm sure that's not what they intend to, but that's kind of how it can come off. Because they're like, yeah, we know the show wasn't as popular, so here's Tennant back in the role, and let's pretend that the last 10 years didn't happen. I already am annoyed by this, because I feel like the Chibnall era fucked over everything that the Moffat era had built up, which is something that the Moffat era didn't do for the RTD era, so it feels very disrespectful. I already feel very disrespected in that regard, and let's not even get into the Timeless Child crap, which I feel like disrespects me as a fan even more. But to get literally for the first story of the RTD2 era be just another jerk-off fest of the OG RTD era, which, by the way, it is good. Like, I'm not denying that. It is good. But let's stop fucking glorifying it, okay? But yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I'm not excited to see Tennant, Catherine Tate, Bernard Crimmins back on the show. I am. And like I said, because this feels like a flipping fever dream that I would fucking dream, I am excited to see what the storyline is hopefully going to be. I am curious to see what the storyline is going to be like. But at the same time, I'm just worried about the consequences it might bring to Doctor Who. Because I also not a big fan of burning up our generation just to have Tennant back for a fucking special, when we can just somehow come up with a reason for why he's back in the role and looks older. I'd rather that than just burn a regeneration. I feel like this is maybe RTD taking advantage of the Timeless Child crap that Chibnall did, which essentially made regeneration kind of pointless. So RTD now can burn up regenerations as much as he wants, and it's gonna be fine, because regeneration doesn't matter. I feel like that just devalues regeneration as a plot device, I guess. Because if you can burn up a regeneration to turn back into an old face and do a story, then why couldn't you just burn up a regeneration and sacrifice the current incarnation of the Doctor to save some other people? Like, if you can do that. It just, again, makes the character inherently selfish. Which is something that the Timeless Children already did. But this kind of completely solidifies it. because without it, burning up a regeneration like this, it's still, at least by the writers, treated as something important. Regeneration is still treated as something important that the character cannot go through lightly. But if you just burn up a regeneration to have Tennant back, it devalues it. But who knows? Maybe this is a parallel universe. Maybe this is an alternative Doctor. Maybe this might actually explain that Joe Martin was a Doctor from a parallel universe or some shit. I would hope that that's gonna be what it's going to be, but it's probably not gonna be that. But again, the fact that the outfit that Tennant wears is kind of like genuinely like an alternative outfit to what he wore before, because before he wore a brown long coat under usually a gray, dark gray brownish suit. And now he's wearing kind of the same coloring thing with a different pattern on the clothes, but also a blue coat on top. And he clearly has kind of an alternative screwdriver as well that is blue and gray, just like his original one, but it's different. It looks different. So it genuinely can be just like a parallel universe Doctor or something, because it genuinely comes off like an alternative universe kind of thing. But again, I'm not sure what in that case RTD would be doing with this. And still, it's very, very early in the production of the special, potentially specials, for the 60th anniversary. So we probably will find out much, much, much more before we actually get to the release of it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the best way they could go about it potentially is if the fact that it's gonna be multiple specials. I think it's been said that it's gonna be 3 or something. And each special has a different Doctor, essentially, because the next episode, I think, is like the centenary special for the BBC or whatever. So it's a special, and that's gonna be Jodie's special. Then afterwards, it could be Tennant's special, then Matt Smith's special, and then Peter Capaldi's special, and then we're back to Ncuti Gatwa. That could be something cool, I guess, that they could do. Probably won't do it. And again, it would feel very disrespectful if they actually have multiple specials and they give all of them to Tennant. So, yeah, I don't know. It just feels kind of weird. Also, to start off this new era of Doctor Who, in which RTD is the showrunner, with Tennant being the first person to shoot as the Doctor again, it just feels weird. Like, we haven't even seen Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor yet, but Tennant is already suiting up for an alternative take. That kind of pretty much confirms that he might actually be the 14th Doctor. And there has been rumors about it for a while, so I think that's becoming likelier by the minute. And yeah, I am just ultimately in two minds about it. Because I'm excited by the prospect of Tennant coming back. I'm excited by his alternative version of the 10th Doctor. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of the 10th Doctor after, the face of the 10th Doctor, after the Doctor has gone through all the experiences of Matt Smith's Doctor and Peter Capaldi's Doctor and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, to go back to Tennant's face, because it's kind of like comparing a character of whatever show you enjoy from season 1 from like to season 7. Like, you can see how different they are, and it's essentially gonna be that, having taken a character's face from from series 2 and plopping it in series fucking 14 or whatever. And it's kind of an exciting prospect, you know, to have Tennant as the Doctor act on all of this experience that the Doctor has experienced in the last, 7, 8? No, what am I saying? Series 5, Series 6, Series 7, Series 8, Series 9, Series 10, Series 11, Series 12. Yeah, it is 8 seasons. Well, 9, actually. So in the last 9 seasons, I'm curious to see how his character, I guess, is gonna be different. And it just feels also kind of fun that after being all these different incarnations of himself, he's now back with this face, and he literally just is just like, oh yeah, let's pick up the old clothes that I used to wear when I was this face. Oh, but I don't exactly remember what I was wearing, so let's just get something kind of similar. I don't know, it's just an interesting prospect, so at least in that regard, I will enjoy it. But I'm just more worried about the ramifications of a decision like this, to have an old actor come back as the Doctor for a different incarnation, especially when it's not like a radically different take. It's not like a completely opposite take of the Doctor. No, it's literally just the 10th Doctor with an alternative outfit, but he's supposedly the 14th Doctor. And I don't know, I kind of both hate that prospect, but it's also kind of exciting. It makes it exciting. I feel like that's more exciting than just having the 10th Doctor back, although I would still have enjoyed it, obviously, because I did enjoy it in Day of the Doctor. And he at least has his haircut back, so that definitely makes it so much more exciting, because as much as I enjoyed Tennant in the Day of the Doctor, not having his hair definitely kind of makes it a little weird, and not like it's the 10th Doctor, but more like it's Tennant kind of thing. So having him now with the spiky hair, it's definitely exciting. And he still fucking rocks it. He still does. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what they're also gonna do with the Donna storyline, because based on some of the pictures and videos from the set, she knows who the Doctor is. Her husband knows who the Doctor is. Her daughter knows who the Doctor is, and she even travels with the Doctor for whatever reason, because you can see them getting into a TARDIS into the TARDIS box in one of the videos online. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious where we're gonna go with that. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say about this. If there's any other leaks, I'm obviously going to talk about them, but that is pretty much it for now. Yeah, I am curious though, what do you guys think about Tennant coming back as the Doctor for an alternative incarnation? Because I've seen a lot of people not really have much of an in-depth opinion about it. They're just like kinda completely overtaken by nostalgia, which I guess I am as well, but I'm also considering the outside ramifications outside of that as well. But yeah, I don't know. And I guess also I want to quickly talk about the fact that bringing back Tennant and seeing how much I enjoy Tennant, it's just kind of making me even less interested in seeing Ncuti Gatwa, because he just cannot measure up to Tennant. Like, it wasn't hard to make me excited for somebody else other than Jodie, because I'm not a big fan of her take on the Doctor, and I know it's more of Chibnall's take, not Jodie's take, but my point still stands. I don't like her incarnation. So I would take anything other than her. But at the same time, because of the things that I said earlier about Ncuti Gatwa, me not really liking what I think is gonna be his take on the Doctor, I was a little wary about it, and now with me seeing how much more I enjoy Tennant, it just makes me want to get Tennant for like an actual season instead of having Ncuti Gatwa. Like, it just makes me want to get Tennant again for more seasons. And not just... It makes me hate on Ncuti Gatwa even more, is I guess one way to put it. It just makes me dislike him even more. Because I already don't really like his personality that much. I don't like his behavior in his talking. And that is just personal opinion. Like, I don't hate the guy or anything, but I wouldn't be friends with him. To me, he's just an annoying kind of person. And seeing how much I enjoy Tennant and how much more likable and interesting he is to me, Even if it's because I've actually seen him play the Doctor, and maybe once I see Shuri Gatwa, I'm gonna love him as well. But it's like picking the evil that you know kind of thing, you know? Because, like, sure, the best days of David Tennant as the Doctor are probably past us, so it's not gonna be as good as that. But I still would take that over this new guy who I don't like, I don't care about, and just seeing him compared to this guy who is the one who introduced me to Doctor Who. It's just like it's gonna be big shoes to fill, man, and I don't know if they will manage to. Because based on the things that I've seen of Shuri Gatwa on the internet, like, I've looked at the best acting of Shuri Gatwa, and there's nothing even remotely as what the Doctor is. Or at least, it doesn't really come off as entertaining when he goes for the more serious stuff, so yeah, I'm not really hopeful about it. But who knows? Who knows? There's that other thing about Shuri Gatwa that I just don't really think he has. He doesn't really give off a Doctor vibe. And what I mean by that is just that I feel like every actor until this point has kind of had a little bit of like an oddity to them. Most notorious, some more than others, obviously, but most notoriously, like Matt Smith. Like, even looking at the promo materials for him as the Doctor, he does feel like the Doctor because he just has something odd to his face. Shuri Gatwa doesn't really have that. He just looks like, I don't know, like a stereotypically, traditionally attractive black male. Like, that's it. He doesn't really have any eccentricity or oddity about him. At least not one which I would connect with the Doctor, and I would like. And to give you an example of what I mean by an oddity, there's this actress which I think was in Sex Education with Shuri Gatwa. I don't know her name, but she's been rumored that she potentially will be the companion to Shuri Gatwa. And looking at her picture, I'm gonna try to look for a picture and put it on the screen. She has a spark in her eyes. She just has this eccentric spark in her eyes. And I feel like she would actually be a perfect choice for the Doctor because she has that oddity in her eyes that I feel like the Doctor should have, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, I can say whatever I want. I can say how much I hate him, but I am gonna obviously wait it out and see whether I'm gonna like it or not. And admittedly, I'm kind of going into this with a kind of like an opposite experience with what I was with Jodie Whittaker, where with Jodie Whittaker, I was actually really excited to see her as the Doctor, or should I say, I was excited to see the female Doctor, but literally, with the first line, she came off as annoying because of Chibnall's shitty writing, which is a shame because Jodie Whittaker is actually a really good actress, judging by her best of moments that you can see on YouTube. She actually has some real good acting chops, but they were not utilized in Doctor Who. They were just not at all. Like, there's this even one clip from, I don't know what show. Maybe you guys can comment it down below. But there's this one clip from a show which Jodie's character says, "I can never be a doctor," and somebody else replies, "Oh, because you're a woman." And that's just so fucking pathetic and ironic, and I fucking love it. And it's even more hilarious when you watch that one scene from I think it was Community or whatever. It's a TV show. I haven't watched it, but I've seen that clip so many times, in which there's a parody of Doctor Who called Inspector Spacetime, and there's a bit about it in one episode where it's revealed that there's like a female Inspector Spacetime, and the character who is a fan of Inspector Spacetime says that everybody hates her, not because they're sexist, but because she sucks. And that episode was released, I think, before, like in 2017? So it was before the review of Jodie Whittaker as the female Doctor. So that one is even more prophetic. But yeah, as I was saying, I came into Jodie Whittaker... Oh, well, that came out wrong. I'm sorry. I came into Series 11 with excitement about seeing Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, because I was excited about the first female Doctor, but it turned out to be a shit show. And that is putting it mildly. While now for Ncuti Gatwa, I'm coming in ready to hate it. Because my patience has kind of run out completely. I don't really have any room for annoyances or things that piss me off in any way, shape, or form. Because I'm up to here. Like, my limit is 100%, and I'm like at 98. And the review of Ncuti Gatwa put me at 99. So if he does not hit the ground running, I'm probably done. And depending on where this thing with Tennant coming back as the 14th Doctor and burning up a regeneration, just to bring good old Tennant back, to bring back the ratings, that could potentially again just completely push me away. And the thing is, even if I like Ncuti Gatwa, I feel like I'll never really have as much of an emotional attachment to the show as I used to have for the first 10 seasons of New Who, because it's easy to burn a bridge. It's much harder to rebuild it. And it's not gonna be the same. It's just not gonna be the same. You could build a better bridge, but again, that's gonna take time. And right now, the bridge has been burned. It's been shot with a rocket. Or a nuke, even. But yeah, what did you guys think about all the reviews in regards to Doctor Who? Comment your thoughts down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently one patron on Patreon, Deadpool. Thank you for your support, I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me, have continued to support me for such a long time. I hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stressed just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact, it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the link in the description to my Twitter if you don't follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Coffee account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!